Hey folks, welcome, welcome. My name is Rachel Wilkins, art business coach. I am delighted to be joining you live today with the founder of Samcart, Scott Moran. Scott is joining me from his studio. Scott, it's great to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for giving us the time
Thank you
today.
so much for the invite. No, we certainly love getting on and just talking about business and what works and what I see is, kind of top down from running Samcart. We just, we get a awesome insight and always love kind of sharing more of that stuff with everybody.
So I'm going to ask you in a second for kind of a breakdown of what Samcart actually
Yeah.
is. For a lot of our viewers, this is going to be a brand new product, a brand new software. So we are going to break down kind of the benefits that it has specifically for my community. But I want to share a little personal story about how Samcart has just totally revolutionized my business when I needed it most. So last year, obviously, like a lot of businesses during the pandemic, my business was entirely events based and our doors closed, of course, when the pandemic came in, everything shut down. And that was my primary revenue generating element of my business. So we were left in this situation, my wife and I, where we just have one salary, we had no money coming in. And I'm like, what do I do? And it was, a couple of months later, finances were really tight, and I had the opportunity to enroll in Samcart. And in all honesty, it was like the worst possible time financially to be able to do this. And
Right.
I mean, just to share a little personal, I'll get a little personal here, but it was such a stretch to be able to make that commitment. But I just knew there was something about Samcart that was going to give us what we needed at that moment. So we put it on a credit card. I kind of went to my wife. I'm like, look, I know this is a terrible time to do this, but I really believe in this product. And a year later, that decision to put that on a credit card was a 27,000 revenue generating idea.
Awesome. So
So
great.
paid for itself and then some. And
Yeah.
granted, that is a very small amount compared to some of the numbers that people are doing, but
Sure. Right.
it gave us hope and it gave us the potential at a whole new way of generating money. So thank
So
you for
awesome.
everything you guys do.
Thank you. I congratulate that story in a nutshell is something I have heard over and over and over again in the last 18 months. And it is incredibly rewarding for us to be able to hear that as much as we have. I mean, basically when we set out to use Samcart, and I'll kind of dive in what Samcart is and that, kind of stuff.
Be great.
When we created Samcart as myself and my older brother, right? We made Samcart, launched our beta in like 2015. And it's because we were online business owners. We sold digital products and courses and ebooks and, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And the tools for selling those things online were just like archaic and terrible and way too simple or way too complex and way over our head. And so we kind of knew like, okay, listen, we had sold a lot. I mean, we'd sold, multiple seven figures of our own stuff at that point. And basically had, we just there needed to be a simpler way to kind of make that happen. And so we hired some really, really way smarter people than us, computer developer, software engineering type folks, to build what is now Samcart. And so, our vision for it was the easiest possible path for someone to have an idea and then take it online and sell it to anyone in the world. And so, to hear that it was able to do exactly that for you at a really critical time when a lot of people are bleeding and hurting and that kind of thing. It was just, it's extremely rewarding to be able to dive in and hear those stories repeated over and over again.
And there's just so much potential. But one of the most rewarding elements for me, as somebody who had been in business for 10 years and was primarily doing IRL in real life events, I've been looking at the digital space for a long time. But one of the challenges that came with that was having to deal with developers, having to understand and learn new software, learn new concepts that were really out of my wheelhouse. Like, it was not, I'm not a techie person. Let's just go on record right now. But with Samcart, the opportunity to have that idea, I'm somebody who keeps a notepad at the side of my bed, have one of those crazy ideas in the
Middle
middle
of
of
the
the night.
night, 2 a.m., right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
To be able to get up and spend maybe an hour plugging and playing the software and the templates that you have inside of this program, and then to have that idea live that day without a developer, without any crazy emails back and forth, was just absolutely insane to me.
And that's why we built it. I mean, it's going to sound funny as, I'm the co-founder of a software platform used by 20,000 businesses, whole thing, but I'm not a techie person either. I'm really not. My background and our skill set was always just writing and storytelling. And, I was more of the marketing side of that brain, you know what I mean? And my brother's kind of a carbon copy of me. That was not our thing. And so we built something because, if I wanted to sell something online in 2012 or 2009, when I kind of first got started, was like a PayPal button was like as simple as it got, but that's too simple. You know what I mean? It's not enough that you can't grow and develop something kind of bigger with just like PayPal, right? And then the options that we needed to do things that kept our business afloat, do things that kept, we got into Facebook ads at very, very early on. We knew that we needed, man, if I'm going to spend $100 a week, which is at the time was a fortune, you know what I mean? I need to understand that I'm going to make that money back. You know what I mean? And so like, being able to, the features that we needed to make that happen, the features that are going to help you guys not only sell what it is that you have, but then sell more of it, right? Sell more of what you have to your clients and make more money, multiply your revenues. You know what I mean? Those kind of features were just out of our grasp, And so we built Samcart to be the easy, like the app on your phone that makes your phone useful. You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many, like just to pull out your phone, there's so many things that go on hardware wise inside your phone that are way over anyone's head. You know what I mean? But you open it up and you click on an app and the app makes it useful and simple and smooth. And that's really what Samcart is for any online business owner who wants to sell their own stuff. So whether you're selling digital products and digital goods like we had, whether you're selling services for clients, you're selling tickets to a live event or a virtual event, something like that, right? Samcart is the tool for selling those things online. We are an e-commerce platform for creators. That's sort of our tagline at this point, right? And so, basically we just help you. We help everybody keep it really simple. We've got, what we're sort of become known for is sort of like, we call it the one-page funnel, right? It's the idea of that selling what you have can happen all on one very, very simple page. Much like you go to Kickstarter, or even you go to Amazon, right? And you kind of, you see a product, you get the benefits, you get the bullet points, all that kind of stuff. And then you buy, right? And it all happens on one very, very simple experience like that. And that's really what Samcart offers, just simplifying everything while maximizing the results, right? And that's that. As a business owner, as someone who is a non-techie business owner, I'm sure everyone can understand, that's really the holy grail. The holy grail is I'm going to help you get better results with less work. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we help deliver.
And I think we've had this idea kind of collectively, culturally, as online business owners, that we need these fancy pants websites with all the bells and whistles. And, that comes at a cost. Like developers, even doing something like this by yourself, putting a website together is so time consuming. And obviously time is revenue, right? You're putting in your own time when you could be simplifying things with something like Samcart. I have heard, and I know a couple of people who also are involved with Samcart. I have heard folks talk about making 6, even 7-figure revenue without a website, literally just running their business through Samcart. Can you explain a little about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, it's becoming more and more common. And the coolest part about what we do every day, is I get to a top down sort of like God's eye view into 20,000 businesses that sell, about $70-80 million worth of their own stuff every single month. And so, it's a lot of data. It's a lot to look at. And here's what I see. What I see is over time, and certainly I've been sort of doing this for a number of years now at this point, over time, things are trending and sort of just in the online space, things are trending towards simplicity. And not just for us as business owners, but for our customers. You know what I mean? The websites and the businesses that thrive online now versus 5 or 10 years ago, you know what I mean? Everything is just, think of, there's not a single website, there's not a single business that you buy from, I think, that is not simpler to buy from now than it was 2 years ago, right? And certainly COVID just like slammed the gas, like into full on overdrive, right? And sort of trending towards buying things online needs to be simple. And yeah, I think I don't want to call it a false bill of goods because that's maybe not fair, but it's certainly the popularized complicated funnel, automations everywhere, it's 18 different tools all speaking to each other. And we as the business owner kind of sit back and put our hands up for some reason, right? I think we are really rapidly moving away from that. I think if that's still what you're doing and that's still where your focus is and your time and stuff like that, I think you are missing the boat. And I think making it simple for your customers to discover who you are, discover what you have for them and buy it is the best possible thing that you can be doing right now. And what is sort of like the leading edge of that? Well, the leading edge of that I see every day is people ditching their websites. People saying, look, I don't really need a blog that, hasn't been updated in months. I don't really need 18 different pages and all this kind of stuff. What I really need is I want to start someone on I want to show someone my deposit. You know what I mean? They're going to make one page that talks about their service and what it is, take a deposit from someone, right? And that is really what kicks off a relationship with someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I have, my next big live event, and I've got you go to whatever.com, and it's nothing. It's basically just a sales pitch, a quick, page outlining, here's my next event, buy your live ticket, right? Or that's it. Or maybe I want everyone that comes in and meets my world, the first thing I want to show them is this one ebook or this one course, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just starting with like a quick sales pitch type process. And then after that, right, that's when business kicks in. That's when you get on, you're going to do, sales calls. That's when you get on, you're going to do, close people into big service, kind of things. But sort of that entry point into your business. People are doing away with websites and bringing instead, right, putting their best offer, their best product, their best single sort of, whatever someone might buy in front of someone, and that's it, and that's their whole business, and that's kind of where we see things headed. And so I think it's overall, I think the experience there, I think it's better for our customers than we want to believe it is. I think we want to believe that sending people from this page to the next page and over here and read these 5 emails, and 10 days later I'm going to bring them back to kind of pitch something, like that whole big complicated thing. Not only is it infinitely more complicated for us as the entrepreneurs, as the creators, right? But it's tough on the users. It's, that's not really how, I don't know about you, Rachel, I'm sure you probably, would agree with me, but that's not how I want to shop online.
Right.
When I go looking for something for myself, if there's a brand that treated me that way, I'm not sure I would really jive too well with that. You know what I mean? What do we want more as consumers at this point, right? We want in and out, quick transactions. I want to go searching for what I find. I want to find some reviews, and I want to choose something and buy it, And I think giving your customers that same experience, we see people, it's a competitive advantage right now. And I think it's something that for people who are willing to dive in and embrace the simplicity of it, embrace that, there are big results to be found there.
And I think, what we see so much in the online space, and I see my community of artists doing this, putting a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of effort into attracting their ideal clients, the, people who want to buy what they're selling, and then making them go through this multi-step process. And, there is data out there that says every step that we ask a potential client to take, we are losing people through the cracks, right? So it's like,
right.
How much money are we leaving on the table by having these kind of scrappy, and we might have, a lot of people might not even think that their process is that scrappy, from seeing something the
right.
client seeing something they like to them actually putting in their credit card details. But compared to what you have in Samcart, everything is scrappy, in my opinion.
Right.
This is like the absolute bomb to get somebody from landing on your page to converting and actually spending money with you. And we're going to get into a couple of the other little elements that you have, or should I say very powerful elements that you have with upsells and cross sells and things like that.
Right.
But one of the things that I really admire, and I think that people will be really impressed with, is the attention that is given to not only the mechanics of the page. We talk about, the video sales page, all the various elements that are proven to help motivate somebody to actually make a sale. But visually, you've spent the time to really invest in making sure that it is aesthetically something beautiful as well, which is really particularly important to my community.
And I think more important, honestly, holistically on the internet, just kind of in general, it's funny. We take a lot of time and effort into design and making sure that, what looks good on a desktop is going to look good on mobile at the same time. I mean, how many times have we experienced that in the last however many years of your life? You go to buy something and everything kind of looks nice and clean, but then you sort of get into the mode where it's time to actually input information. It's time to actually kind of make that decision, right, and actually buy something. And the design is just horrendous. It looks nothing like what you came from before, right? So there's already sort of a dissonance going on there where like, whoa, hold on. Am I still in the right location? Did I click on the wrong button? That kind of stuff. But then there's also then the elements of, buying things on an iPad or buying things on a phone. Most things look okay enough on a laptop and on Chrome or something like that, right? But the moment that you move away, and 63% of traffic that comes to Samcart pages now is on a mobile device. And that's not going anywhere anytime soon. So when's the last time that everybody watching this, that you went to go buy your own stuff on a phone and tried to see what your customers are experiencing, right? Because I guarantee you, if they're experiencing things where the buttons are small, right? And the formatting's weird and they got to kind of scroll the page around, up, down, like that kind of stuff like that. You're losing sales, and in a major way, right? And we see this all the time. And so, really we take that cue from the wider kind of market and world. You know what I mean? I think in general, we as consumers, I think, tend to trust places where the design is clean and updated and looks good now. You know what I mean? I think any one of us can sort of understand and close our eyes and sort of picture like, okay, what does like a PayPal checkout page look like right now, right? And if you land on that, like it might still be PayPal and it's great, that's a big name kind of stuff like that, but we all know what those designs kind of look like, if you survey people about trust, bigger, better, nicer, cleaner designs inherently just are more trustworthy. And that's just, again, I think that's just like a bigger picture where the world is headed. So it's something, of course, we put a lot of time and effort and energy into. We take that on for you guys, right? So that you don't have to worry about hiring a designer, hiring a CSS developer, right? Or hiring like a JavaScript coder to make sure that, all these things kind of work and play nicely on all these different devices. Outsource that work to us and the very, very smart people that work on the other side of this wall will take care of that kind of stuff for you so that you guys as product creators can sort of just reap the benefits.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think it just is the epitome of working smarter, not harder.
Right.
Taking the time to just invest and invest a little money. Obviously, there's a financial aspect, but also investing your time to set everything up in a way that does allow you to step back and do the things that you love, which for my community is obviously creating their beautiful artwork. But there is some work to be done. And I do want to just stress that anybody who thinks that this is, come in, plug and play and go party and sit back and count the dollars, I will never, ever promote anything, any tool as that, because, if you have to show up, you have to be willing to put the work in. But I am a testament for, how powerful this product is. And I'm now seeing a year later how much money I've left on the table in the past 12 months without really using it to its full potential. So it really is just an incredible, incredible tool. Before we get into just a couple of questions that I have from our audience and some more questions about the actual software itself, just to reset for anybody who is joining, we're chatting with Scott Moran, who is the co-founder of Samcart, which is an incredible tool that really saved my business during the pandemic, allowed me to generate $27,000 during a time when my business doors were closed. As most people know, we're an in-person event business, so we were left kind of scrambling, and income Samcart, and we were able to keep afloat, and we continue to be able to serve our audience, provide value, and deliver meaningful products and services now because of Samcart. So if you have any questions about this software, drop them in the chat. We don't have Scott for too long because he has a million other places to go, but I'll try and get to as many questions as I can. So tell us about the software itself. Now, some of the elements that you have, one of my favorite is, of course, the upsell.
Right.
Tell us about some of these, because when we think about payment processing, cart open, that kind of language that we hear, most people just think, put in your credit card, the sale is done, end of story.
Right.
Tell us about the life cycle of Samcart from when that moment happens.
Man, yeah. I mean, what Samcart I think is really known for out there, right? Simplicity, I think, is the biggest thing, right? But the second one is definitely multiplying results. We essentially, if you right now, anybody watching this, if anybody here has, a couple $100 in sales every single month, right? Even if that's kind of where we're at, you are sitting on a six-figure business with the right tools in your tool belt, right? And that's really what Samcart's all about. We are laser focused on sort of like e-commerce, right? We are laser focused at helping you accept orders and then giving you features in that one spot, that are going to help multiply the results that you actually can go ahead and collect. And so upselling is a big piece of that. So upselling is kind of like using an upsell is a big, broad kind of term. We use it very, very specifically in Samcart's context, right? When you go and you sell something, like let's say you have a piece of artwork, right? That's a great piece, right? There's somebody, you're going to sell a piece of artwork, you're going to sell a print of it or something like that, right? Imagine someone is going to purchase that thing, that piece of art, right? And then Samcart is going to let you take them to another page, and you can do multiple of these, but we'll just keep it at one for the sake of simplicity, right? And imagine at that point, you're going to say, hey, listen, I would love to, we'll double your order, right? I'm going to give you a companion piece of art that you can hang in a different studio or something like that, right? Or I'm going to give you upgrade to free shipping or something. You're going to present them with something else to buy in that moment. and presenting people with something else to buy in that exact, I mean, literally right there on the spot, right? I'm not talking about a day later. I'm not talking about an hour later. I'm talking about on the spot, is why our conversions are so high on Samcart and why people get the results they do. And then we layer in something very, very, very unique, right? When you go to Amazon, right? Nobody buys one thing on Amazon, right? Like you go to Amazon to buy one and you buy 8. Like that's how it works. You walk into Target and you buy, 8 things instead of one. Like that's just how it works, right? That same idea, giving your customers a chance to spend more money, is maybe the biggest single thing that I will scream about until we retire from Samcart or, at the end of the plan, whatever it takes. But is the biggest single kind of lever that anyone should and can be pulling in their business. And so what we do is we have some very unique technology that saves that person's credit card or their PayPal account or Apple Pay or something on file. And so when you present them with something else to buy, it's not fill out this other information and click submit again. It's not, hey, just confirm your credit card one more time. It is literally credit card is saved on file, right? And all they have to do is click on one very simple button to buy something else, right? And it's that combination of in the moment, in the heat of the moment when they're in that buying mindset, right? And saving that credit card on file, making it that simple for someone to buy something else, that makes those upsells so effective, right? And so that's really just kind of like one feature that we have inside of Samcart to help customers buy more, right? But I'll give you a stat from the Samcart database. The Samcart database tells us that if you add just one of these upsells in place to whatever you're currently doing right now, right, that you are going to increase your average customer value by 68%. And that is an average. That is like a baseline number, right? 68%. So if you sell a piece of art for $500, right? We're basically saying that adding a single one-click upsell in its place is going to help you collect an extra $300 in sales on every single order, right? So not everybody's ready to take it, right? But it's going to help take a $500 sale and turn it into an $800 sale, right? I'll take a $100 sale and turn it into a $168 sale. Like those are the kinds of things when I talk about multiplying your sales, multiplying your revenue, your results, right? And if you have something right now, even if it's just a couple $100 a month, right? I am not joking when I say that the right features in the right places can help turn a couple $100 a month in sales into thousands and thousands of dollars in sales, into 100 figures in a year, or 6 figures in a year rather, and can really revolutionize and change the game for whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah. And I can back that up because 1/3 of people who buy my products take the upsell.
Exactly. Yeah.
The upsell is so good and so aligned with the product that they're buying that why would they not buy it? You make it a no-brainer that of course you want this partner product or service to go with what you've just invested in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a bunch of different ways that Samcart can kind of help make that happen. That we have like order bumps and, there's just kind of a lot of different features. Again, like because this is all we do. You know what I mean? We say very focused on sort of like the e-commerce side of things, that there really is just no better place to sell whatever it is that you're selling online. I mean, we have the features in place to make that kind of stuff possible. And one of my very favorite examples is actually Christy Miller. So someone who, Rachel, you're sort of like in the same circles as Christy. She came in and she was, she sort of, the example we like to use, or the analogy I like to use, right, is a lemonade stand. If you're currently treating your business like a lemonade stand in terms of someone comes to you and you say, we have lemonade available for 50 cents, and they pay you 50 cents and that's it. And they walk away and that's kind of it, right? Well, when you take the lid off there and you basically give your customers the option to spend more money, they're going to spend more money. So for a lemonade stand, maybe that means I'm going to sell snacks with it, or I'm going to sell, a cooler insulated cup, or, obviously you could brainstorm a lot of different ideas there. But Christy came to us and she kind of treated her business like a lemonade stand, right? She had an online course that she was selling, and that was kind of it. And it was, Christy, you need an order bump, you need an upsell, you need to do 1, 2, 3, these kind of things, right? And she was like, I don't know. And I finally got her to take the jump and kind of do it. And so she had predicted that this promotion that she was going to do about $30,000 in sales, right? And she added one order bump and one of these one-click upsells. Again, features that you guys log into Samcart sometime, you'll see what I mean, right? She added 2 of these features that help customers spend more, and she collected $44,600 or something like that, right? So she added an extra $14,600 in sales, basically she said 5x her profit margins kind of from this whole thing, just by giving people the option to buy more in that exact moment. So just such a powerful, kind of thing there. Obviously those numbers work on smaller scales too, right? You don't need to be doing $30,000 promotions, right? To kind of get the benefit of that. But it can be absolutely game changing when you have the right features at your disposal.
So you have something really exciting coming up. You have a launch where there's going to be this free video series that people can watch. One of the most exciting things, certainly for me as a course creator, as somebody who has a membership, is the new addition of the course software that you have within Samcart, which is just, I'm in the process of moving all my courses over. It is amazing. A lot of my community, I've spoke with people, over the years, and they've expressed an interest in teaching what they know. As artists,
Exactly.
we have an amazing set of skills that are desirable, that there's an audience for, but so many people just see what, all these different software, Teachable and Course Cats and this and that, and they just, they get a case of what we call the efforts, right? Don't want to do it, don't want to deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys make it really, really easy. So tell our audience what's coming up, how they can get involved. I do have a link in the comments section, but if you could just give us a little info, that would be great.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So definitely check out Rachel's link in the comments down below, because that's where it's gonna route you directly to kind of what we're talking about here. But no, on October 21st, we basically have a feature that we kind of released, and Rachel previewed it for you there, right? We have a brand new addition to what Samcart is that we released to all of our customers about 6 or 8 weeks ago, and now it's kind of ready for prime time, right? So now we're kind of bringing it out to the world. But essentially, Samcart is, again, the e-commerce platform for creators. And so what we added is this beautiful, lightweight way for you to deliver digital content directly inside of Samcart, right? So you're going to take ebooks or downloads or print, like digital copies of your art, things like that, right? Video courses, whole kinds of stuff like that. And you can deliver that stuff behind a password protected wall directly right inside of Samcart. And it just brings the simplicity, again, sort of full circle. It's just easier for your customers. They come in, they buy stuff. You use all of Samcart's awesome features to help them buy more and get really, really excited and deeper sort of into your world. And then now you have this really, really lightweight, beautiful way that you can deliver digital content directly to those customers. You can sort of auto enroll them, so there's just this whole sort of in like course platform world. Rachel is someone who's familiar. I'm sure you've experienced the same thing. It's like, the number is a little bit lower than 3 out of 10 customers have trouble sort of even accessing everything. So they end up emailing you about login details and how do I get my password and all this kind of stuff. And those are the kind of problems we set out basically to solve. And I think we've done a really, really awesome job. And Rachel, I'm thrilled to know that it's something that you've checked out, you're super excited about and excited enough to share. So we just have a really big thing coming. Anybody who is a creator, if you are looking to either open up sort of a new revenue stream, or you're looking, to maximize what you have in sort of a current revenue stream, and really Samcart is a great place to come make that happen. And we have something really, really exciting to kind of share with you on the 21st. So definitely check that out. We have some videos to check out right now where we just sort of talk about our experience, myself and my brother, Brian. We share a lot of what we've known from our decade plus, which feels super weird. That sort of feels like I'm dating myself a little bit, but of doing what we do online, right? And a lot of that kind of predating Samcart, and just trying to share as much of the roadblocks and hurdles and breakthroughs and things like that helped us so much as we kind of ramp up to this really, really exciting announcement coming on the 21st.
And I want to throw in just a little extra news there, that for anybody who does decide to jump into Samcart, I'm going to throw in a couple of bonuses. I'm going to have a very specific 5 ways that you as artists can generate revenue using Samcart, and also a 30-day warm-up that you can use to nurture your current list of clients and direct them straight to that sales page as well. So watch the videos, check out that link in the comments below, and it's absolutely revolutionized my business. And I really do think that it can revolutionize your business as well, folks. It is an incredibly powerful tool. Scott, thank you. It's been such a pleasure hanging out with you.
Absolutely.
And, again, just thank you for everything that you have done for me as an online business owner.
Awesome. Now, love hearing that, Rachel. Thanks so much for sharing that. Thanks everybody for coming out and for sticking around with us. Certainly, if anybody has any questions, you know where to find us. But certainly, stay tuned to your email, guys. Rachel is definitely going to be sending you guys some updates and with awesome links. You guys can come check everything we have coming out.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Scott.
Yep. Thanks, Eric.